Hello and welcome to Alchemist Swim. I am Alchemist Jen. Welcome to today. Thanks for joining me. Today's whim of the day is to talk about a cow and to do some sewing. Yes, to talk about a cow, and I'll show you the cow too because it's pretty fucking cool. Freaking cool. It's all good. I said it. Anyway, it is amazing. So, I have this beautiful cow. So I went to an antiques place and yeah. So here she is. Here she is. With those lips. She's got rosy cheeks. Very good detail on the head. Beautiful, beautiful vest she's wearing. And then she's got beautiful shoes. She's just amazing. So look at her. She's just fantastic. So I just wanted to show you the awesome cow. Betty, as she's been referred to. And yes, she's amazing. I love her. Anyway, she came home with me. Super excited to have her in my life. And I think I'll put her on the mantle above the little fireplace here. I think that would be a very fitting place for her to kind of strut her stuff. So, yay. Very, very cool. And I'm going to start working on sewing my floor pillow. So I've got this beautiful rainbow thread. And then we can do that a bit together today. So I hope you're having a good day. It's not too bad here. Let's see how this needle works with going through the thick fabric that I have here. I know I have other needles I can potentially use, so if I strike out with this and this isn't fine enough or thin enough and sharp enough in the shaft of it, I'll find out pretty quick and then I can adjust. I think I'm going to start in the top part where it's going to have the most ease of going through. I'm going to move her over, Miss Betty, so you can look at her awesomeness. Maybe stick around an angle. Maybe she looks like she's talking to me. I'm just having fun with it. Thanks for joining me today. So I've got my fancy needle. I've got my heavy cover for my floor pillow that I'm making so that I can sit on it while I chat with you all and make some stuff. So this is the part where I want to go through with the velvet. So it's got ridges in there, so I'm thinking that it'll go through there pretty easily. And I haven't made a knot. Let me find the end and then knot it so that way I don't end up with something that'll come all the way back through and then I'll have to just start again. So I just did one layer of thread because it is multicolored. Shift through things. I thought it would look interesting just to keep it singular, and then I can go back through and stitch over it, and that might give myself dimension as well. I think it's going to be strong enough as a hand sewn because the way that I will do the stitching, so we'll see how it goes. So that looks good so far. And then I do have a thimble if I need it. It'll take a little bit to pull it through. I went with a longer piece and I think it's gonna like to get caught up on itself. So I've got a nice little string awesomeness there, but I never fret over these things. I know they're gonna come apart. And if worse comes to worse and you can't get a knot out, just cut it. There's no loss. And it's not worth the fight. Alright. Here we go. So a little bunched up there, and then go up a little bit. I think I want to keep with the zigzag motif that I have a little bit, so I'll go up a little bit and then come back down for different stitches. It looks like it's going to go through the double layer pretty well, so that's excellent news. So going through there, you can see where I came through down here. I'm going through up a little bit. And not too bad. Good. I don't have to push too hard or pull too hard through the fabric. So that's excellent news there. A little bit of knotting, but again, that is not a problem. As with any knots and things that'll grab, this one's just a little loop here. Just a little loop. And then, so you can just pull on the loop and it should loosen up a little bit. I don't want to pull it too tight because then it'll tighten on itself, so we're going to go ahead and undo this knot. It's exciting, right? Undoing knots on camera. This is what this turns into. You can look at the top of my head while I'm successfully undoing knots. Alright. It'll come through. I'm not worried. It's all part of the process. I could have done like a smaller stretch of thread, but then I wouldn't have these awkward moments with you, and so that's just what it is. I usually enjoy like fighting through the first part of hand sewing like this, and then like enjoying the last end where I don't have to fight through it, because then I'm at the end of that process for some reason. It's part of my thing I do. I don't know why, but it does consistently happen. So I'm just going over the same area I was at and coming back through where I was, and then from here, then I'm going to go ahead and create my next zag, because I'm zigging and zagging. Everybody should zig and zag. I'll leave myself a little bit more of length there on there, so it's not tied or anything, it's just a length, and it is a singular piece of yarn. It is yarn, it's thread as well. It's just very fine yarn. I can use that word in this case. Sometimes I use yarn just as a blanket term, and I don't necessarily mean that word, so I've noticed that when I'm talking with you. So it's just interesting. My brain does that. Zagging, and we're through. I think this is gonna look really cool. So I'll have big stitches. We'll do a double layer stitching on each thing. Fight through the knots as we need to. I'm saying the word fight, but I'm actually enjoying the process of undoing the knots. Having to pause is just fine. And I could say that differently in the next little bit and change my mind and say I'm not enjoying this anymore. Why did I ever say that? Ever. But right now I'm okay with it. So, zagging. And back through. Very cool. So this is going to look nice. Very, very colorful. And then this one, I'm going to go through there, and then I'm going to start my next stitch. So I am going through the bottom part. So you can see right on there where I'm pulling it through is right on the bottom there. And then I've got a nice little V. Upside down V. It's a V to me, and it is like a TP to you. TP. Or hat, I don't know. Maybe a tilde. That's the this part would look like one because it's got upling, and I think I was thinking ahead to the thing that you use for an accent. Another way would be more of like a cap, but this will go quick. So I'm pleased with how this is going to work out. I'm already seeing some shift in the colors. And it's going to be subtle, but I think it's going to feel nice overall. Big stitches, which is going to go quick, but it's also going to celebrate those colors. And they're not like deep zigs and zags, so they're pretty chunky zigs and zags. I'll show you on this one. Alright, going through. And watch, here we go. You can see the zig and zag, and then also where it comes through. So that looks cool. I think it's gonna look pretty sharp, and I think that it's gonna feel really nice. So it'll feel strong because I'm going over and reinforcing the stitch as I go, giving them a good tug, and that'll be really nice. So that's what's gonna happen. It's really thick stitch because of the double layers in there, so I'm pleased. I think that's gonna do great. And then I'll do it on the top part, and then I'll also do it on the edge part as I go. So I'll probably go in a little bit where I have this kind of trough I can go into and stitch from there, and then probably stitch, because I don't have to go too, if I want to do the zigzag, it'll actually work best for me to go across like this, stitch that way. So I think that will look really good. It'll give a nice little lip to the edge of the pillow, which will be a good detail. It's a good place to grab on as I'm moving it around, and it won't interfere with the insert because that's already folded over. So those are my thinking thoughts, and I might even stuff this first after I do the top part, because it won't have any extraneous pieces that are left really unsewn besides the edges, and then just make sure that when I stuff it and put it in there, that other piece works. And if I decide that, hey, I really don't need that extra stitch on the outside, I might not do it. So I think that's a good plan. I'll see how it feels, rather than feeling like I should have just left it. I can test it out and do it now. So that's today. The whim of the day is this amazing cow. Yes. And then some hand stitching. So it's been great to have you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see where the whim takes us tomorrow. Toodaloo.